Alright, this is Ogre of Gaming in Progress, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit of business news. Love them or hate them, Apple has decided to file for a patent for an action camera meant to fill in the gaps left by the GoPro cameras, and specifically hitting on some of the weaknesses that GoPro does not. So for those of you who aren't familiar with GoPro, they were a company founded in 2002 by Nick Woodman, and have been producing action cameras ever since 2005. Now, their first popular action camera that really put them on the spot was the GoPro HD Hero, which came out in January of 2010. Now, GoPro stocks, when this was announced, fell yesterday by 15%.
Oh, and your friend Pierce called. I'm sure he has some crazy.
So there's a lot of people who are worried that this camera might put GoPro out of business, or seriously put a tampering on GoPro's business. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen, because if you look at Apple's track records with recent products, they've been known to release inferior products that are highly overpriced. I will cite this by talking about their MacBook Pro, specifically the 2011 version. Now, and even their newer MacBook Pros are out of date and overpriced, and I will talk about that in a minute. But in 2010, there was a batch of 2011, excuse me, there was a batch of MacBook Pros that were released with faulty logic boards. And there was recently a lawsuit that was dismissed about this, but just because it was dismissed, it was still a lawsuit. The lawsuit involved faulty logic boards in which the plaintiffs accused Apple of selling, despite knowing of the issue. The lawsuit alleges that Apple CEO Tim Cook knew about this problem since 2011 but did nothing about it. Well, the good news is, for Apple, is that it looks like the judge presiding over the case has decided that Apple was not guilty. According to Judge William H. Alsup, he ruled that the plaintiffs had failed to prove that Apple had misrepresented their equipment. He also noted that despite the alleged faulty logic board, both of them have been able to use their computers for up to nearly 2 years. Now, that was pulled from the website Ubergizmo. Now, Apple claims that their laptops are supposed to be top of the line. Now, if they're top of the line, why would their products only last 2 years? Why would they ship a product that they knew that had a faulty logic board? The judge dismissed this rule of the case because they had gotten 2 years of use out of their laptop, but anyone who's into computer technology and specifications and everything knows that a good computer should last you well over 2 years. So given that, Apple has had a bad track record with releasing a lot of their products, especially when it comes to their newer products, the MacBook Pro 2014 edition and the iPhone 6. Now, the iPhone 6 runs on outdated technology. The iPhone 6 has the basic version has a 4.7-inch screen and only 720p resolution. Now, while Android users had the Nexus 4 in 2012, which had similar specs and 760p resolution. Now, given the iPhone 6 Plus specs are a little bit more up to par, but all of their technology and their specifications have been outdated by a few years. When you look at their MacBook Pro, I'm right on their website right now, and as you can see, they don't even begin to offer i7 processors until you hit the $2,000 range. The $2,000 range offers a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core Intel i4 with turbo boosts up to 3.4 gigahertz with 6 megabytes of cached information. Now, their most affordable line, which is roughly $1,300, has a 2.6 gigahertz dual-core Intel i7, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 128 gigabytes of solid-state drive. Now, not only is yes, it's solid-state drive, and it's a lot more reliable than a hard drive, but 128 gigabytes is an extremely small amount of data, especially for a laptop that they're marketing towards students who are going to be doing everything from editing videos on it to writing up documents to doing Photoshop projects. you're almost going to need an external hard. Well, you are going to need an external hard drive. Not only that, it doesn't even come with a dedicated graphics card. The graphics is Intel. It's either Intel Iris graphics or it's Intel integrated graphics. Now, looking at that, we go to my specific laptop model, the Asus N550JK. Now, this laptop's roughly in the $900 range now. Now, now the screen size is 5.6 inch, while compared to the MacBook Pro, within the closest I could get to that price range, it's only a 13-inch display. And screen resolution on the Asus is 1080p. Given the Apple's laptop does have higher resolution, but with that much smaller of a screen, you don't really notice it. If you're going to shoot for higher resolution, do it on a laptop with a bigger screen. If you have a smaller screen and you want to offer a monitor that's a little bit different and a little better than what you can find from other laptops in a similar price range, offer a laptop with a higher refresh rate. Because at that, unless you're doing some hardcore video editing or some hardcore photo editing, you're not going to need that high of a resolution on a 13-inch screen. Now, the graphics card that comes with the Asus model it does have a dedicated gated graphics card. It has a NVIDIA GTX 850M, and also comes with Intel integrated graphics and HD 460 or 4600. And memory graphics capacity is up to 2 GB of RAM. In stock, this thing comes with at least 8 GB of RAM, the same as the Apple MacBook Pro, and a 1 TB hard drive. So if you can see, the specs on this laptop meet, if not exceed, the MacBook Pro's specifications easily. And it's only in the $900 to $1,000 price range as of right now. Now, these are both 2014 model laptops, and yet Apple is inferior. And Apple has been a company who's, up until recently, has had a good track record with releasing, releasing products. I mean, they were the first company to really pioneer the smartphone. You're talking about, they completely revolutionized the cell phone industry. Now, nowadays, everyone has a smartphone. Everyone's, phones are glued. The smartphone is central to everyone's lives. It has a PDA, it's a computer, it's a tablet, it's everything you could ever possibly need. Minus having decent processing power all in one. So, with that being said, I personally don't think that Apple's action cameras are going to be up to par. Now, GoPro just put out the GoPro Hero 4, which can shoot in 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, that's a pretty nifty piece of equipment, considering that a lot of cameras on the market, especially when you start getting into dedicated video cameras and everything in that price range for film and film recording and everything that are bigger, have more room to work with, pack in more features, they don't shoot in 4K. I'm about to drop a purchase on a DSLR camera that's easily in the $600 range. It doesn't shoot in 4K. The images it takes are well beyond 4K, but it's not like the video quality is not in 4K. And DSLR camera makers for years have been knowing that people have been using these to make films, to make indie films, just to dig around and videotape stuff. So they could have packed in 4K functionality in there easily, but they haven't. The GoPro Hero 4 is arguably one of the cheapest 4K cameras out there. Not only is it cheap, it's good quality 4K. Now, none of that makes a difference if you don't have a 4K device to view it on. But, even then, you're still going to get results that are spectacular. It's capture, it'll capture video in obviously higher detail, 4 times that of 1080p. So if you're watching a surfing video or an airsoft video on YouTube in 4K, you know, that guy in the back or that dolphin jumping out of the sea that might have been blurry on a 1080p camera is going to be picked up easily on a 4K camera, and it's going to impress you. It's going to stun you, the quality of the video. I don't think Apple is going to put anything out that's sophisticated. One, because their user base is generally a bunch of people who just really, honestly, don't know better and think that Apple's great. You know, if you notice, Apple has some pretty hard fanboys. You talk shit about them, they'll be like, "Oh, well, Apple's number one." Yeah, I'll see. Like, you'll see what how your piece of shit Windows computer is going to be outdated in a few years. And, newsflash: anything that gets released is outdated as soon as it released. Technology is advancing so far now that average human knowledge, just of the entire human race, doubles every 13 months. You know, and the number of transistors on a microchip doubles every 2 years. You know, the amount of information you can pack into a laptop, pack into a desktop, doubles exponentially. So, as soon as something is released, it's outdated. Don't ever think anything you get is going to be, you know, is going to stay up to date for a while. I mean, it'll stay better than 90% of what other people have, but that's only because other people haven't upgraded yet. So if you buy a good computer or buy a good phone, it's outdated. Just 100%, it's outdated. But it's also brand new, so when everyone else is still using phones from 1 or 2 years ago, you still have the edge on them. So, will Apple, anyways, back to Apple's user base. Now, like I said, their user base is mostly people who don't know better, you know, so it's, and you know, people who have just been loyal to Apple for years. So, all the people who buy these, you know, are going to be, you know, your standard, you know, MacBook users, your iPhone users. And as far as an action camera, for serious filmmaking, I don't see too many people using them. Because, like I said, for anyone who does do YouTube videos or produces, you know, budget indie films or even high budget films that use GoPros for certain scenes, there are a few of them that do that. You know, for your people who do that, they're going to consider, they're still going to be loyal to GoPro or consider GoPro, because GoPro has been doing this for years. This is Apple's first forte into it. Apple hasn't been known for their quality in the past few years. And, like I said, this is their first forte into it. You know, GoPro has the established track record. Yes, Apple's a big company and they can put all the advertisements out there in the world. But, you know, for the experienced filmmaker and the person who's out, you know, videotaping, you know, paintball or airsoft or, you know, quad running or anything, you know, the people who's experienced on this, people who make a living out of it and, you know, get hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube doing stuff like this, professional filmmakers who are filming stuff like, you know, American Sniper or Transformers or something, you know, if they're using those for their scenes, they're going to use the best of the best cameras. They're not going to use, you know, an Apple product just because, you know, everyone's talking about it. Because they want the best quality for their viewers, and so does everyone else. So I can't really see this camera really picking up as far as used in business. Yes, it might take over the casual market a little bit, but I don't see this killing GoPro, or I don't see GoPro going away anytime soon. GoPro's quality has gotten insanely good over the past few years, and they have an insanely loyal, you know, user base, and there's not really much, you know, there's not really much that GoPro. There's not really many weaknesses to GoPro, to be completely honest. Other than they have shit stock audio quality. You either have to get an external microphone for it or figure out something else. Now they have a lot of practical applications. They can be used as security cameras and tight spot dashboard cameras, chest cameras. You know. So, to be completely honest, if you're looking at a at a release of an Apple action camera within the same price range of the GoPro Hero 4, it is not going to fare well in the market. You know, your main consumers are going to be loyal Apple buyers who aren't really going to use it much to film anything more of a family event or just some recreational activities. I can't really imagine anyone doing anything professional with this. So, anyways, I'm going to keep you guys updated as much as I can about this. And this video is not meant in any way to bash on Apple. They have their business model, they have their customers, they have their fans. Apple generally isn't worth it. I mean, yeah, there's probably something I'm missing here. I've never used a MacBook Pro, but they might be extremely fluid to use, and just might be completely worth dropping an extra $2,500 on something that only has Iris graphics. Yeah. Oh, the Apple MacBook Pro with a 15-inch Retina display and a $2,500 range comes with a NVIDIA 850M with 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory and automatic graphics switching. So it basically comes with the older version of the 850M. So yeah, you're paying $2,500 for a laptop that should cost $900.
Hope you got something useful, because the cops are...
No, I take that back. I am bashing on Apple. Yeah, you have your customers. You have your... Yeah, you have your fans. You have your loyal customers. And you've been scamming them for years. I mean, take a look at your specifications. Take a look at your... take a look at your products. This has popped up more and more on the internet. People are not happy with them. People are tired of investing their money in a company that releases out-of-date products that are horribly overpriced. I mean, yeah, I guess I am bashing on Apple a little bit because what they're doing is completely ridiculous, and their business model is not going to get them too far in the second half of this decade. We're already in 2015. And they've been on this they've been on this road a long, long time. You look at what they've had with Bendgate, with releasing the iPhone 6. These are problems that a multi-billion-dollar corporation should not have. And that's why they're not going to drive a multi-million-dollar corporation like GoPro that's only been around for has only been around for 13 years. That's why they're not going to drive them out of business. Apple might have the advertisements. They might have, they might have all the geniuses in the world working at the Apple Store. The fact is, all of their stuff is outdated as soon as it hits the shelf. Outdated by a few years. So, I guess this can be more of a video to explain why you shouldn't buy Apple, why you shouldn't trust your money with a company like Apple. Yeah, they offer great customer support. I will give them that. But customer support does not make up for having shitty specifications. Anyways, I'm Ogre with Gaming in Progress. This has already been a long enough video. And there's a few more things I'm going to announce before I end this video. Obviously, that was a rant about Apple and talking about why GoPro really has nothing to fear and why they're still going to be strong on the market. But I might as well talk about my future of Gaming in Progress here for a little bit. As far as shooting gaming videos, I'm not going to stick completely to gaming videos. I am going to do opinion pieces like this and small little gaming journalism pieces. Along with a few airsoft videos, because I am an airsoft player. So, anyways, as far as my recording quality, I decided to switch from fraps to shadow play, mostly because I want to be able to get my content out to you guys as fast as I can. Shadow play, it doesn't record, like, records in a different codec than Fraps. Fraps files, like a 30-minute video, will run anywhere between, depending on what resolution I'm shooting in, will run between, say, 30 to 100 gigabyte file. Now, that's hard to edit, that's hard to render, while a similar file with Shadowplay might only, a similar file with Shadowplay will only be a few gigabytes in file size, so that's faster render time, easier editing, and I mean, they're still very similar in quality, and once you upload to YouTube, it doesn't really make much of a difference. But Shadowplay does seem to be a way to go. So hopefully that'll mean you guys will be getting videos from me faster and more efficient, which will hopefully will allow me to keep up with my current posting schedule, because I've been posting several videos every few days. Hopefully allow me to keep up with my current posting schedule while I'm in college. So this is Ogre with Gaming in Progress. I'll see you guys later.
Kinsey? All your stuff's gone.
What? Damn it! Zinyak removed all signs of the Saints from the simulation. That means...
There's no more safe houses for us in the city.
Right.
So what do we do about that?
Not sure yet. Though any help you can give with gathering information on systems in the simulation would be useful. I'll leave any tasks I have for you in the quest section of your hub.
Got it. Anything else?
Just hang in there. I promise I'll find a way to get you out.
The sooner the better.